Hey. Hey. Okay, I have to constantly tie my shirt because it is hot in here. What is up, you guys? My lovely, beautiful souls that I'm connected to in this realm. What is up? Come. Welcome to Earth is School. I am your genie. Hey, do you guys have your notifications on? Are you in here because you were notified? If so, I love you too. I'm gonna wait for a few more of you guys to come in. I gotta come in vibing to my lo-fi. Lo-fi is like a vibe. I listen to lo-fi every day when I'm editing, when I'm doing my yoga. Lo-fi is just a vibe. And it helps me not be distracted. If I'm listening to music with lyrics, then I'm like really distracted. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Earth is School. This is the place for the cool kids. Okay, I don't care how old you are. This is the place for the cool kids. Okay, the students. The ones who know that we're students. Just be excited about it. What's up, y'all? What's up? If you don't know me, then my name is De La Soul, and welcome to Earth is School. What is this? I don't want to call it a show, but this is a live cast that I do. Sometimes I do it with just audio, and a lot of people say they want to see my face, so ta-da. I also do video, and I basically just go live and I just do me. I have so many channel messages to share to people. I'm a life coach, I'm a healer. So there's just so many downloads and things that I get, and I'm a writer, and I got a lot of shit to talk about. So so here on Earth is School, we talk about it, and I coach you through things, and I basically share what I share with my personal clients and even at my retreats, which I forgot to mention yesterday. If you guys want to come and meet me, you can do that in November at the No Boundaries Retreat. Hey, 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 hey. It's going to be a lot of healing. I'm going to show you how to master your mind. You'll have 7-8 days with me, and it's all inclusive. And you get to be here in Senegal. There are healing portals here. If you don't believe me, you better ask somebody. And so, yeah. That's what I do. I fix people's lives, okay? Or I should say I help. I help people fix their lives. And for a long time, I was very humble about it and almost scared to put it out. And thank you for people that have trusted me and that believe in me, and my clients that be going in on me because they be like, why don't you share what you do? You need to share it more. Everybody needs a daylight. You need to share it. I made a post earlier on my Facebook expressing that and just how thankful I am for, I don't know, some people say, and I know that there's a part of this journey because at one point I was at this part in my journey where I was serving a lot of people, serving, and then it was like no one was reciprocating, and I wasn't really getting it back. And that's no longer a part of my reality. It really is where as much as I pour into other people, they pour back into me. As much as I validate and help others, they're helping me, and they're always reminding me of my gift and what I do. And I'm so thankful for that, because even though I'm a teacher, I'm also a student. And we're all one. That's the point of Earth is School. This is something that I came up with when I was like 6 years old. Believe it or not, I am normalizing these kind of conversations that I know that a lot of you guys can relate to, on being very intuitive, very young, very much connected to source, and just knowing things and not even knowing how you know things. And so, yeah, at a really young age, I understood that Earth is school, that there's levels to this, and that we graduate constantly, that this is not my first rodeo, neither is this yours. And man, even for that, like I was thinking earlier, I'm so grateful to even be able to talk about this publicly like this, because now I feel like we're still kind of early, but not really. Like 5 years ago, even before that, when I was trying to discuss these things, it was just not, people were not receiving it right. And there's been such an awakening. If you guys follow me on any of my other platforms, you've seen me talk so much about the awakenings that have been taking place, and people just dropping these very like strict religious, like when I say religious, like I don't mean your belief, I mean like your religious like views, like I mean like the way that you will like stick to one thing, one way of looking at things religiously. That's what I mean. Because here we don't care about what you believe in. Like your belief doesn't matter. What matters is that you know that you're here, that you're a soul having a human experience. I don't care if it's, you know, God or Allah or the Buddhist or whatever. If you're atheist, it's not about that. It's just about us all being one and us being the collective. So I'm just so glad I could just say this. Like, oh my God, I've waited all my life for this. Okay, so getting into what we're going to talk about today. It's so funny because I have so many subjects. I can never run out of subjects. I have like 2 books here with over like 300, 200 different thoughts and revelations and downloads and stuff. So I don't think I ever run out of subjects, even though I try to tell myself that I do, or I can never do that. And what I choose to express and to share sometimes are channel messages, and I really have to go off of my energy. So if you've seen earlier, I even made a post and I said I was going to share some channel messages that I got for the collective that I've been getting for months. And I don't know, I think that maybe I'm not supposed to share that. So not right now. So maybe tomorrow or something. I don't know, but I'm strictly going, like when I'm sharing these things, I don't want this to be like a tomorrow we'll talk about this, today we'll talk about this. I really want it to be open and as natural as possible. If you are familiar with doing any kind of like channeling or reading work, then you know how much you have to like let go and not try to control things. You have to take the path of least resistance, which you'll hear me talk a lot about. So I don't want to control or manipulate things. With that being said, I did say I would talk about that subject. Some of you guys seen that, and then I was like, wait, I'm gonna go with what's inside. So someone posed the question, why do we have to go through so much? Like why is life so hard, I guess you could say. And I feel like I have this true belief, this is from years of coaching people and my own personal experience. And even if you're into astrology or numerology, this is a good way that I give an example of this. But when we're going through things, I know we think that we're like the only people on earth going through it. Like in the moment, that's what it feels like. And sorry, I just noticed that there's comments. I'm gonna read y'all just a second. So in the moment, that's what it feels like. It feels like, oh my God, I'm the only one going through this. This is the worst thing ever. And I'm here to tell you that no, actually, we all experience the same about 8 to 12 things in rotation, if that makes sense. The events and the timelines and the things and even the little scenarios are different. The scripts are different, but everyone at some point, mostly everyone, or this is why I'm saying everyone, because it'd be different scenarios. There is financial things, there is relationship things. And the reason why I mentioned astrology and numerology is because if you look at the houses, That's why there's 12 houses to break down, like, this is your career thing that's focused. So like this person's career might be off at this time. This person might be dealing with a heartbreak or a divorce at this time. This person is dealing with parenting issues and their foundation, being able to provide for themselves. Like, we all end up going through the same rotation. Grief, right? I mean, how could we not all experience grief here? You lived under a rock or something your whole life, because we all have loved ones, and everyone, you can't escape death. So we actually all go through the same rotation of things. It's just at different times. It's about 8 to 12 different subjects, and they just get rotated, y'all. I know that's crazy, but this is actually a philosophy that you can look up in certain things that I'm going to go over later. But I remember being really young. I have been a paid counselor for years, after I went to school for psychology, and I started taking clients. And after like a year of taking all these people, I'm like, yo, this is the same shit. Like, I'm like, everybody going through the same stuff. This is the reason why you can go to church and the pastor is reading from a scripture and giving you a word from it, and it resonates with you so well, because we're all one. We really do go through the same things. It's just different scenarios. Okay. If y'all see me, I'm sorry that the kids are upstairs playing, but if y'all see me like slapping myself and doing this, I'm not crazy, you guys. It's the mosquitoes, okay? I think one just bit me. But it's real, okay? It's real out here in these African streets, okay? So what was I saying? That's the thing. It's like, okay, we all go through the same shit, right, in rotation. But then, and what this episode is for, is how there's some of us are really special. Some of us are like unique as hell. You know that if this is you, if I'm talking to you, you know this is you. And we will go through things, and this is what the person's question was really about. It's just like, what in the hell? There's no way I chose to come here. There's no way this is something I would have set up. This is horrible. Am I being punished? I am having the worst experience on earth as possible. And it'd be like, you go through stuff that some people will be like, dang, like, I can't believe you experienced that in back to back, or, this seems like this should be in a movie, like that kind of thing. That's what this conversation is for, okay? That's what we're going to talk about. Why do we have to go through so much? Like, why is your thing so deep? Like, we go through the same rotation of stuff, but why is your thing like constant and so big? And like, what is up? Like, what's up with you? Like, okay. Before I get into it, I'm going to read some comments, okay? And y'all gotta bear with me, because I don't like to write things down before I speak. I really like for things to flow, but then when I let things flow, it's a freaking mosquito. When I let things flow too much, then there's points that I miss. So I kind of have to be in the middle of that, the balance. Hey, Tiffany, what's up? Numerology with Tiffany. That's my boo. Tiffany is like my longest client that I've had, like 6 years now. She does numerology, and she's amazing. And you guys should subscribe to her channel. Tiffany, Numerology with Tiffany. And yes, I got the notification while watching. Hey, I love it. Look, y'all don't know. I be paying attention, okay? Those of you that are turning your notifications on and staying up with your girl, I do not forget. Please come and join me in November. Oh my goodness, it's going to be amazing. If you're into having psychedelic experiences, anything like that, we're going to be experiencing that, DMT. It's going to be amazing. You guys have no idea. I'm going to share a lot more about it, but I'm going to really be delving into your healing journey, and like it's real healing. If you've seen any of my reviews of my clients that naturally express that how easy healing has been, after them connecting with me, because I really don't believe, just like birth, I just don't believe that healing has to take so long and has to be so hard. No, it's not easy. Okay, and no, it doesn't, it's not always a pretty journey, but I do think that the collective and this spiritual thing that we got going on, which is a great thing, I think that we really overdo it. Honestly, I think that we overdo it. Like, we're humans, so that's like a natural thing. But we talk about shadow work so much. We do so much shadow work. A lot of people just live in their shadow work. If you live in the shadows, you're constantly going back to your childhood. You're constantly retelling the story of what happened, and you just end up living there. And even though shadow work can work for some people, I think that we forgot that shadow work is actually for people that do not know what they need to heal from and that like are in denial. It helps for you for it to, be brought out. But a lot of us do know already. A lot of you guys can break it down, and y'all have explained it to your partners and your counselors, and you don't need to live in the shadows anymore. So I'm really excited to be able to gather people together, talk about manifesting. Y'all know I am a master manifester, and people have been asking me for years to do retreats in the States. I would gather people and have them meet at parks, and I would do something like a retreat where we would do yoga, and I would teach, and I would feed people. And here we are, like today, and I'm in Africa, and I'm doing these retreats, and I don't have to pay for anything. And it's amazing. The company is amazing, and they approached me. I had to do nothing but just be. I'm so grateful for that. So please come. I'm going to really help you fine tune your mind and learn how to manifest things like quickly. Okay. Okay. I don't know why I expected you to say something other than mosquitoes. I'll be looking for the deepest experience. That's hilarious. Phoenix Rising is another one of my clients. She's actually one of my mommies. So she can vouch for this level of healing that is available to all of us. Okay. That's so funny. That's so funny because I feel like I was doing the same thing, especially people know I'm in Africa. So, of course, they want to know if we're running from lions and, certain things like that. We have not seen any lions out here, y'all. Okay. Okay. So let's get into it. The people who go through the most, right? When it's just the hardest thing and you're like, okay, I know I'm not the only person that's going through stuff, but why is my shit so extra and so deep and so constant? Okay. And the truth is that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. It's a part of your journey. And when you like, this is how you know that it's supposed to be. I'm about to break this all down for you. Don't worry. It aligns with like people who go through the deepest stuff are not only are you like hella deep, these are people that are down to earth on some level. They have some depth to them, right? And then they be having like the biggest dreams, to like do some of the most incredible things, like taking nothing and turning it into something. And so if you look at the pattern of our lives as humans and other people's lives, we're supposed to look at other people's lives to help reflect because we're all one. We're all a collective. And you can see, I'm going to name some people later, but you can see how it is that like it is set up where when you're asking and you're wanting the biggest thing, when your purpose is so huge, you do have to go through some of the worst things. I know it's like not fair, right? Like it feels so unfair that I shouldn't even be laughing right now. Like it's really not funny. Like it's deep, right? A lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. Those of you who resonate with this, you know what I'm talking about. And sometimes you just be like, what? Is this ever over? Or is this just my life? And it is a part of your life, but it is a process or a phase. And it's something that you have to go through because when we're asking for big things, how else do we expect to get these things without being trained? Like, how can you want to be this wealthy person or this leader, this business, this successful business owner, this person that is healing all these people, even healers? Let's just take healers, for example. People that are literally healing people with their health issues and going through health things themselves. And they're like, oh my God, like, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. I experience this myself, and I I'm here to tell you that it's a part of your journey. It's because how could you help someone with something that you never experienced? For one, a lot of us can, right? I help people every day with things that I may have not personally experienced all the time. But it's getting that experience, being able to be relatable. That's one thing that is a purpose for you doing this. And then it's also the fact that you have to be prepared. Like the things that come out of you from what you go through, they help you to go to the thing that you're asking for. And I can't tell you why it's like this, okay? But I can tell you that it works. I can tell you that chaos creates order, that pain will motivate you, and that these things that occur that we really, really hate, that take us through spouts of depression and all these low vibrations, these low energies, they really bring amazing things out of us. And I'm going to try and find some posts. Y'all know I be like writing like crazy. And I have some really nice posts. Actually, there's new ones coming up in my mind right now that I hope that I can find to help you understand. Ooh, I had one that was really good one day. I say one day. It was like years ago. And I remember talking about this. And I had said, damn, I had said what I just said a minute ago. Oh no, I tried to save it. I tried to save this one that I had, and then it just went out. So let me try and pull it up again. But I did have a really, really good one that just popped up in my mind. And wow, it's just really a part of our journeys whenever we want something really big. And you have to accept this. You have to accept that you either can live a mediocre life and things won't be shaken up. You can be safe in your house, in your little box, and just do, And then there's some of us who end up, just so happen that we end up going through some of the deepest things, and we have this thing inside of us that adventure is calling us, and to shake things up and to make major moves, like to do crazy things that are not really normal. And the reason why that's inside of you is because it's how you're supposed to get there. So these things go hand in hand, guys. And I know it fucking sucks. Like, I'm here to say it sucks. Like, I feel you. But I want you to know that it means that you're a chosen one. You're one of the ones, like. And that's kind of like a 3D thing. Like, technically, there is no chosen one, okay? Like, we'll get into that later. But you the one that chose this. So you the chosen one, okay? That's what that really means, okay? So I made a post, and this is just one. This post is kind of lengthy, but it's going to give really good context. And this is just one. This is my most recent post that connects to this subject. And then maybe I will be able to remember some other ones where I spoke about this subject, okay? This is just helping you understand and be okay and say, it's okay. Like, I get it. I get why I had to go through this thing with the law or this thing with my finances or whatever, because look at me, look at where I'm headed. Look at what I'm asking for. How can you want something so big and then think that you're supposed to just like be zapped with the resilience and the courage and the fearlessness and the no, it doesn't happen like that. Okay. So this was November 16th of last year. I said, want to know how I know I'm going to make it big on YouTube? Because with a clear vision and the decision to go hard on something, always comes the most random obstacles and crazy challenges. People don't even know that the last month I've been more consistent than ever on my channel also happens to be the month we no longer have the internet. I'm talking about the exact moment I decide to stop procrastinating and take one of my dreams serious. The exact thing I need to make it happen goes completely down. And I'm mysteriously the only person in my building without internet. Mysteriously. Every week they are coming to fix it, and every week they don't show up. I studied YouTubers for years, and a pattern I've repeatedly noticed with the most popular YouTubers was that there was always a period as they were coming up that their internet went out for the strangest reasons, and they had to go above and beyond to bring their audience consistent content. Uh-oh, I lost my place. The same thing happens for everyone pursuing a big goal, no matter what it is. Glorilla was crying every night because she had lost her car and apartment and was sleeping on her best friend's couch right before she was discovered. Halle Berry moved to New York City to pursue her acting career and ended up living in a homeless shelter instead, right before she made her first acting role. Steve Harvey lived in his car for 3 whole years while he was on the road pursuing comedy, sending most of whatever he made to his first wife and kids and living out of his car to save money. And do you even know what I experienced trying to get to Senegal? What I'm describing is really universal law, okay? What I'm describing is universal law. So, what have I been doing? I get how this matrix works. It's never working against us, always for us. So, I haven't been letting it stop me, not even slowing me down. Every day, I either pay extra money for a taxi or walk 25 minutes to my friend's rooftop to upload my videos. Sometimes the signal is slow and I'm up waiting outside until 3 a.m. for just one video to upload. I'm hella tired sometimes when I finally make it home. My kids have cooked. We talk a little before bed and I go to sleep to do it all again the next day. There's no nearby cafes or restaurants and I can't use Wi-Fi anywhere. Trust me, I tried. So every video you've seen me share that looks effortless from the outside has been uploaded this way. My point in sharing all this is the universe just really wants you to know how bad you want it. If you are for real about what you want or not. Every big thing we want is always on the other side of adversary and life's most random challenges. It doesn't mean it's a time to give up and start saying, why me? It literally means the opposite. It's time to go harder. We must remember this place is a big game. Our minds are the controllers, and it's our birthright to not only play, but to win. When life starts throwing daggers, as soon as you decide to go hard on your goals, please know that what it is really, remember this. And when you see me posting my videos asking for you to subscribe and share, know that I'm not just doing it because that's what YouTubers do. I'm actually determined as fuck. And I know there's only one outcome that can come from all this. Okay. So that last part, I didn't know I was going to say all that. But if you guys can get the gist of this, then what I just broke down was like really, really important. And I just like to give my own real life examples. But it's real. It's really something where if you can connect the dots and if you can start to accept that when you're going through this thing, even though it's supposed to pain you and make you go through all these feelings and resentment and maybe some anger and all this stuff, if you can still understand, I'm going through this because I asked to go to another level. And what I have experienced in my life of going to other levels is that it happens after I let go and after I have to start over and after I've had to cut some people off and go through some pain. And I actually wrote something about this yesterday. I just remembered. Maybe I didn't share it. A lot of my stuff I don't share. Let's see. I didn't even finish this, but this is a thought that's the same subject. There's so much power in letting go, leaving things behind, and starting over. I've done this about 3 major times in my life. And when I think back on it, every time I got back what I had to let go. And it came even better than before. It came with a lot of growth, and I gained so much strength because of that process. Every scenario really prepared me for the next one, and they all just so happened to push me more towards the life I was asking for. It didn't always feel good, but it taught me about acceptance, and it helped me to get to the independence of my life I have today and creating more of. It's always interesting to me how we ask and want big stuff to happen with our lives. We want to be wealthy business owners, artists, teachers, and leaders, motivational speakers, world travelers, but we don't want to accept the training that comes with that. So I didn't finish that thought, but I'm glad I remember that because I just wrote that yesterday. And it's just real, you guys. So I really just want to put that on y'all's brain that don't take it personal. Even though it's deep as hell, it's not just you. There's a big pool of us that have huge purposes here to at the end, like I talked about yesterday, is really to serve. We really came here to serve. So whatever you're doing, even if it's selling a product or a brand or whatever, it's serving. And we're here to change lives. And when you have that purpose, you're going to go through some crazy stuff. If you look up anybody's, like any of the big, like motivational speakers and priests and stuff that really have changed people's lives, they've been through some stuff that you wouldn't even imagine. So here I wrote, it's a rite of passage. So I really believe that. I believe that going through such deep things and things that are like unique, sometimes you might have a story about something that you experienced, and you could be in a room full of people and people are like, whoa, like that's unique. Like, nah, I ain't had none of that. Like, I haven't heard that. So that's who I'm talking to right now. And I really believe that it's a rite of passage. If you've ever heard of the hero's journey, the hero man's journey, I think that's what it's called. I think it's just called the hero's journey. But the hero's journey is the hero's man, because they be being misogynistic with it. I've seen people creating like the hero woman, but it should just be hero. But the hero's journey, look that up. Pull it up on YouTube when you get a chance, and you'll see like that there's basically a lot of stories, a lot of superhero stories, and even stories that aren't about that. They go off of the hero's journey, and the hero's journey really came from real life events and the pattern of our lives. And it's basically just a sequence of, let me see if I had it in here to go through, but it's basically just a sequence of or a series of events that we go through that is like, it's like creating order out of chaos. It's like getting this hunch that we want to move to a new place or go on some type of adventure or quit our jobs or start a new job or whatever the thing is. And then you end up facing your fears and going through this thing, and you end up learning about adversary and yourself. You end up first you actually deny it, right? So first you're pulling away from it. You're like, oh no, I don't think this is it. You're having some like self-esteem things with it, and then you finally get to the realization that you are supposed to face this big thing, and then you go through it and you learn these things, and you end up having to let go and to lose, right? It feels like you're losing, and then from that loss you gain so much, and yada yada yada. Okay. It's really a law here. So there is like some people say there's 11 steps. The call of adventure, the supernatural aid. So you get supernatural aid within this time. And a lot of you guys know this. You guys have been in near-death situations and all types of things that when you look back and you can be like, yo, that was crazy. That was crazy how I came up out of that, and I ended up meeting this person, or this kind of thing showed me the way, or, there's really supernatural aid within this. And then there's crossing of the thresholds, road of trials, okay? That's when it feels like it's just the worst thing ever. The approach, the ordeal, the reward, the magic flight, there's return, there's resurrection, and then there's resolution. So I'm not going to get too deep into the hero's journey, but please look that up so that you can resonate with the journey that you're on. You're a superhero. So that way it's not so deep. Now I do have a session to do, y'all, in less than an hour. I'm going to say like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's a last minute session, so I'm going to be a little shorter than I thought I would be. Let's see, what else do I have here? I already said, contrary to popular belief, we all go through the same things in rotation, about 8 to 12 things. And there's some of us that have super unique stories. You can't ask for big things and expect not to be prepared. You must be prepped. So, I mean, it's just piggybacking off of what I've already mentioned is that you have to be prepped. Like, I think that, I don't know if it's like the human thing where we kind of like, humans are very egotistic. You know, we think we're like the best beings and we're just like, we just, you know, we just got it all figured out. We have fingers and toes and we can move around and, you know, we think we're superior to other forms of life, and we think that we're the only beings like in the cosmos, in the universe. So I don't know if it has something to do with that, but there's some type of like delusion. There's some type of delusion that we have where we really think that we are supposed to, like, maybe we think that it should be granted to us, that we should just gain this self-trust and this level of resilience and this fearlessness and this confidence and this know-how, and not actually go through the hard things that it takes to get it. And so I'm just here to knock that ego right out. And be okay with it. Be okay with it, because when you are not going through, when you don't have a life where you haven't went through a lot of deep shit, it's not that you're cursed or anything. It's just that your life is mediocre. I had to take a silent moment on that because I want you to really understand what I'm saying. For the ones who have big purposes, you are the ones that go through the most, because you're gonna make the biggest impact on this world. And I hope I'm not coming off preachy. Like, this is not me trying to like preach to you, okay? I'm not trying to inspire you, okay? I'm really giving you like real facts. Like, this is a real reality. This is really law. This is the parts of the hero's journey. And I can go on and on. I won't even give details because there's gruesome details about people that are life changers in this world, or even our elders that have passed, and the different things that they went through. I mean, it will have us sitting here in silence for real. So, I mean, I just really want to encourage you, to accept your journey, to accept your path, and to constantly say to yourself. This is what I tell my clients. This is a piece of what I tell them is to just repeat. I accept the connection of my purpose. I accept my purpose here. I accept what I'm supposed to do here. And this will help you with going through what you're going to go through. I know it's so corny. I know it's so whack and it's so cheesy, but you really are going to get through it. And just like the things that you've been through before, I could bring up 5 different subjects and you guys are going to be throwing things back at me about what you've been through, and being able to relate to me and how you got through it, and the type of person that it allowed you to be and how it allowed you to help others. So yeah, it's that thing. It's that same thing. It just be different levels. Yes. Okay, Tiffany said facts. Yes, you have to accept it, guys. There was another thing. I just had to take a screenshot of it. I wonder could I find it on my tablet? Because I don't think it's in my phone, which is what I'm using to record or to do this live, and I don't want to stop it. But maybe I won't find it. Let's see. It's I thought to share it. I wasn't even going to share it, but then I was like, oh, well, this is a subject, so I might as well share it. But I took a screenshot for my own purposes, just because I like to remind myself what I've been through and where I come from. Where are my images? So I actually took a screenshot of it for myself, and then I was like, oh, this actually can be shared. Let's see, it probably won't let me, it probably won't pull up the most recent thing. What I said was, let me try and see if I can get some keywords. Let's see. Let me see if I can get some keywords and it'll pull up. This is actually something that I had went through. I leave like notes in my Facebook. I leave notes everywhere. Like if when I pass away, there's going to be a archive. Okay, when it's my turn to go, there's going to be an archive that my children and researchers and everyone will be able to dig up and find. Because I take notes everywhere. I have notes all around my room. I have notes in like 10 different places. But I had this note. It was September 1st of 2020. And this note was so deep because it was so real for me. It's like there's a difference in like this is related, okay? There's a way that you feel like when you're in the middle of going through the thing, if you think about it, it feels so big, it feels so deep. It's like the biggest thing ever. It's so much. And not to say that it never is, because sometimes it is like that's like the deepest shit that you're going to go through here. But a lot of times you will then surpass that, right? Time will go on. You'll have the realizations, you'll learn the lessons and things like that. And then you'll be able to look back and you'll be like, damn, that wasn't even all, like the way I reacted to that, I could have, like, you know, if I knew what I know now type thing. You know, and that's what this post was. It was me being in the moment and me just being like, what the hell? What the is going on? I really want to share with you guys. I really want to share with you guys. I hope it'll come up. But I don't want to go out of my live because then it can get crazy. But it was a really deep post and it was very much in the moment. I actually recorded myself in those moments of feeling like that because I knew that it was temporary. And that's another message that goes with this, guys, is that this stuff is temporary. It really is. All this stuff. Like the only thing that doesn't really end up being temporary is like when you're going through a grief of a death. I don't believe that we're ever supposed to get over our loved ones that are no longer here, but we know that time does heal, and you know, you gain acceptance and you learn to cope. You learn to accept and to cope. It doesn't mean that you never get over it, but you know, you can't necessarily, like, there's certain deaths that we grieve over that you can't necessarily heal through, but again, you can learn to have acceptance and you can still live your life and be happy, you know, with that being a reality for you. But anything else is temporary. Everything else is temporary. So whatever you're going through, not only do you need to know that you're going through this because you've been asking for some big shit. It only makes sense. The stuff that you want to do, it's just too big. You can't be like, how dare you? Like, we're so privileged. Humans are so privileged. We really think that we're not supposed to go through big stuff and we're just supposed to just be zapped with the with the knowledge and the understanding and all that. Dang, a lot of people shared this post. This is actually a different post, but dang. Thank you guys. You guys did a lot of sharing of my post when I was on my way here. Dang, man. Come on, yo. I really, oh. Okay. I didn't see where I can narrow down. Okay. Is this it? Okay, so listen to this. So this was September 2020. This was on my way to Senegal. You guys have heard me talk about my journey here and how crazy it was. Oh my God, what an amazing journey. You end up going through, like I was saying, in the middle, it feels so deep. And I knew on the way here, I had so many revelations, so many downloads that was telling me like, this is not even about you, Dayla. Like, it's bigger than you. Like, you're just a small portion of you having to get there and do this. When you actually get over there, you're going to see the people that you did this for and their children and their children's children. These are the things that I was being told. And you guys are being told this too about your scenario. Some of you guys can hear it and some of you guys can't. That has to do with us having blockages and not really being able to hear our intuition. But I was hearing this thing loud and clear. God, freaking mosquitoes. Okay. So, oh my God, I love going back and reading these things because I'm like, it's just, you know, Earth is school. It's constant training. So I love like being aware that I'm in training and like doing my studies, like doing my Earth studies, which is like me reflecting on myself and going back in my past and remembering things of my future and connecting them and realize like helping myself understand. You're supposed to be helping yourself understand that this is a matrix and that we really take things too serious and a lot of times we can just chill. We can just chill and things will fix itself and shit don't be that big, okay? Even when it feels like it, like it's okay. So what I said here on September 1st of 2020, I said, I'm really trying not to question my ability and that this is for me. But today I just got the worst news ever. Our tickets were canceled with no refund, only a voucher, and I have to rebook the tickets for $5,000 for all of us. I said there's no flight going out of New York to Senegal unless it's Delta for $5,000, and Tap Air, which is who we just booked through, are not doing refunds. It's like the same thing I just said. I don't know why I said that twice. Oh, because this was a thought. I didn't share this. I was just really writing. We don't have a home or a car or money for new flights right now. I have to lose my apartment in Senegal in order to put that money towards my attempt to come up with $5,000 by next month. I'm so confused that I can't tell if I'm being strong or breaking down. I knew this wouldn't be easy, but damn, this is kicking my ass. Okay, so the highlights that I want to make on this, and without going into too many details of my journey, for those of you who don't know, I've been like having the goal to come to Senegal. I gave myself a 10-year plan and I made it here in 8. And within the last year, I had accumulated, you know, and was able to save up money. I had plans on coming here with like $10,000, and flights got canceled. We had to live in New York. Obviously, New York is not cheap. I had to pay for expenses and things living there. And I had already sold my car before we got to New York, and I left my apartment, so I didn't have anything because I was just coming straight here, and I was not planning for that to happen in the middle of the pandemic. So this was my very first. This was before we actually was like set up. I'll tell that story another time, but this is before we were set up and my money was stolen and stuff. This thought that I shared, I didn't know that was about to happen. I had no idea. I thought that this was like the worst thing. I thought that this was the worst news, okay? That was not the worst news I was going to get that week. And oh my God, I just like, I love going back to this moment because it's so important to understand, and like it's important to remember that you really do get through things and that you really are going to get through this and that you really are going to come out on top, and that happening was determined, like what determines that is your mindset. And honestly, and I've said this before, even when your mindset isn't even right, this is how great life is. Even when you're being negative as hell about your situation, you might have to go through a little bit of extra stuff that you really didn't have to go through because of your perspective on things. But you're still going to get through it. You're still going to make it through, and you're still going to come out on top. Like, you know, you just might get beat up a little bit more, you know, but that just kind of helps to show you that you don't have to You don't have to feel like you're the only one. You don't have to feel like this is the end. You don't have to give up, all that stuff. Starting over is really, really an awesome thing to do. You really should consider letting your merchandise go and the people that you need to let go and all these things, because it really is a stepping stone. It's the beginning of the milestone for you to take the course that you've been asking for. Let's just say in my particular journey and in this particular situation that I just shared with you, let's just say that I had done what everyone was telling me to do. People were like, oh my God, you're crazy. I knew this was going to happen. You have extremely failed. You have been so selfish. Look at what you've done. You need to turn around. This was the worst, stupidest thing that you ever did. You need to go back home and you need to turn around and start all over. Let's just say that I had listened to them. Yo, if I had listened to them, if I had not went through the storm and pushed myself to keep going, despite me feeling low. I had so many low days after this. This was not nothing. Like what I was feeling in this moment, I thought it was so deep. It wasn't nothing compared to what I ended up feeling. And just had I not done that, I would be in a really bad place right now. I know I would, because I know where I was mentally and why I chose to leave and how I felt. And I just know that I just know what I know, and I just know what I felt and what I was destined to do. And I know how loud my intuition was about it. And that's why I didn't make the decision to listen to them. But if I had, I just know how many regrets I would have had, with that. And I'm really glad that I got to go through it and I got to experience the pain and the scariness, all the fear. I mean, talk about fear. A lot of you guys don't know because you guys just watched me get on the train with the kids and do my thing. But I was freaking out. I was literally freaking out. I did not like being in New York City with my kids was like one of my biggest fears. I did not want to be in a place that is so crowded with my little kids. Coast was only 2 years old. So when we got there and I learned that I had to go from Manhattan to the Bronx, and I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm going to avoid the train. I'm like, I'm going to do whatever I have to do. I'm going to spend this money I'm supposed to be saving for me to do Ubers and stuff. And it was just no way around it. I had to get on the train. And it's funny because me and the kids talk about this, how I was doing lots of research, like how to ride the train in New York City, how to ride the train with kids. I had the phone number, my phone number, and I put return me to my mommy. I wrote this on paper and I tore it and I put it in the kid's pocket because I was just like, I'm on my way out of this country and I'm in New York City of all places. It's just going to be impossible. Like, how can I not lose one of my kids in the subway? Like, that's how I felt. And Coast was like starting to run. He liked to run out and try to get into traffic and stuff. I had ordered him the little wrist thing. Like, I was going through a lot of anxiety, y'all. And all of that, oh my goodness, so amazing. Like, in the most amazing, seamless way, all of that fear that I had, it ended up helping me push through it and no longer have it to where I could come here. How the hell would I have come here and made it in Africa and did this the way I did it if I didn't experience that? And going back to the post that I read, not this last one, but the one before that, when I talked about letting go and my experiences in the past. Years before our move here in 2020, like I'll say 2015 maybe, I kind of went through a similar thing where we had to leave from LA. We had to go back to the house that I owned in Oklahoma, and we had to let go of everything. I had to pull up at the Goodwill and just drop things off, and I had to drive in the car with my kids by myself. And I was freaked out. If you guys know me, if you guys been following me, then you know that me and the kids traveled around the country. We did lots of road trips and we kind of like low-key lived in different places, right? This was like 2 years before Coast was born. We kind of just went on our little, my dream of road tripping with my kids. But what people don't know is that before I did that, The idea of driving across state lines with my kids would give me so much anxiety. I mean, oh my God, I was having an anxiety attack. The first time, and the reason why we had to go from LA to Oklahoma was, long story short, my mother-in-law at the time, she had vandalized our home. I had just paid off our house like a year prior to that, and I wanted to redo my house. So before we left to move to LA, because I was like 6 months pregnant, so I'm like kind of nesting, and I wanted to redo my whole house. So I put like a new bar up, we put new flooring in, all this stuff, and she ended up vandalizing it almost 2 years later. And this feels like the worst thing, right? Stealing from my kids. We still, like, I had their kitchen sets and all their things. We didn't take anything to LA. My dad already had a huge house for us to come and live in, and we didn't take anything with us. So we just had our house that we did not have to pay any more mortgage on, because it was now paid off at this time, and I wanted to rent it out. And so, man, this feels like the worst, most grimiest thing. It's like, this is something that's like, oh my God, it's all I can focus on. I'm so mad and da 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 da. I'm so hurt. Look at what has happened to me. And her doing that, it ended up being the best thing she could do. I needed her to do that. I needed her to do that. She doesn't even know how much she blessed the game, because it forced me to have to drive with my kids. Like, what I wanted was a life of road tripping. Like, I knew that I wanted to move to Senegal one day, but I knew that I wasn't ready. And in the meantime, I wanted to be on the road and experience traveling with my kids. And I was too afraid to do that. So that trip from LA to Oklahoma, it forced me to have to do that. And it was amazing. And I was freaked out the whole time. But what happened after that? We went to Chicago, we went to Texas, we went to Atlanta. We have been all over. And it just wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that series of events. Same thing with me on my way here. The chick who set me up and who stole money from me, and I ended up getting it back, right? Just like I said in my post, I ended up getting these things back, and it come even with more ease, and it's even better than what it was before. But you be needing that, like in the moment of me going through and being betrayed, and the way that she was being so like narcissistic about it, and the gaslighting of it that really was taking a mental toll on me. It felt like, yeah, like there were moments where it was like, yo, I really messed up. Like, what did I do? Like, I am like the worst, stupidest person in the world. And I would have never thought that 8 months later, a year later, I would be thankful for that. It's almost crazy for me to say that today, but I'm so grateful for what she did. I really needed her to do that, and I didn't even know. So this is a real thing, y'all. You really have to accept what you're going through, accept what people do to you, because it seems so crazy, but you're never alone. This thing has already been written out. Like, you already set this up. You already agreed to experience this. Your higher self knows this. And if you tap in, if you don't have the blockages, then you can get these bits of like clues that will help you understand what I'm saying. Like, in the moment of me going through these things and feeling these ways, I always had moments that would remind me and kind of give me clues to this. Like, wait a minute, like, am I supposed to do this? I'm supposed to just keep going? And I'm supposed to just like, okay, so I'm learning from this. Okay, I'm getting a lesson. Okay, like, and that's what you're supposed to do. Like, Earth is school. So that's really what it is. Hey, what's up? How are you? Thank you for joining in. So that's really it, guys. I have a session to do, so I'm going to wrap it up. If you guys have any questions, please ask them now. I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this resonated with you. I hope this message makes a lot of sense. I'm not your preacher, okay? I'm not here to inspire. I'm kidding. But I'm really just giving you guys facts. I'm not trying to sound preachy. I really just, this is school, okay? This is school, and life is mental, and earth is school. So that's really what this is. Facts. The struggle to your goals will strengthen you for the road through your goals. Man, I can't even, like, I'm telling y'all, when me and the kids were on the road for the first time, leaving LA, I remember telling them, because I was freaking out, like I had to stop sometimes and just like a real panic attack. The first time I ever was on the road with them, and I would be like, you guys, we must be doing this to like get us ready for something else. Like, this has got to be like, this is crazy. Like, this is what the kids remember me saying this. At least my two oldest, they remember me saying like, you guys, we're just in our training wheels right now. Like, we're just being trained. So I could feel it. I could feel it. It's a real thing. And I felt the same thing when I was on my way here. I felt that little clue of you're just being trained. You're just getting ready for it. How else, like I always say that me moving to Senegal and going straight to Dakar, like Dakar is like I call it New York's Africa. So what's the coincidence that we were stuck in New York City and we ended up moving to Dakar? Dakar literally is New York City in African form, from the taxis to the energy to the traffic, and there's just so many resemblances. There's certain streets that you go down and it literally feels and looks like New York City. So what were the odds of that? We were literally being prepared. When I got here, I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel overwhelmed. And this is something that I asked to do years ago. My preparation, my training for what I'm doing today in Africa had started almost 10 years ago. Isn't that amazing? It's so real. You're in training. You are such an inspiration. I know how hard moving can be, especially with kids. Yes, don't even get me started. I need to do a live on moving with kids. And what's really cool, and I'll talk about this in a video, but we just moved from Dakar. We live in Sali now. And I got such a prize because I did all that experience of like moving with chaos. Oh my God, like from LA to Oklahoma. And I mean, and even that thing, I really did my best to not make that a chaotic move, for real. Because even though I was going through it on the inside from what my mother-in-law had done, and I didn't want to leave LA, I wanted to stay in LA. But I didn't want my kids to feel that. So I actually made it like a road trip. Like, that was our first road trip. And then going through from the move from New York and all these different things, I feel like I got such a gift this last time, because when we moved in this place that we're in now, this move was like incredibly easy. Like, who moves with children and says that it was easy? What? Like, this was an easy move, y'all. I moved to a city about an hour away in Africa. Do you know how hard moving in Africa is? Do you know how hard it is to get boxes in Africa, to like be like legitimately like move? Like, I really did this, and I did it with ease. And I'm so grateful because I have been through all those things, and I had really grown and learned my lessons. And I even learned to manifest really quickly and to maintain my vibration of what I want. And so what I wanted was a move with ease. And I just kept putting it out there. And I didn't even keep putting it out there, because that's trying too hard. I just put it out there, and I just stayed on that frequency. And I mean, you guys are going to see it in the vlog, maybe in the next few days or sometime next week. And from the moment of me saying, I want this and I want this, I want a place that looks like this and has this, I want to move in 3 days. The kids were like, when are you going to be back? Like, how long do you think it'll take you to get a place? I'm like, I don't know, guys, but I need to be back on the 3rd day. Dead ass, came back on the 3rd day, had the apartment. It was just too easy. Even my homegirl here, Afro Millennial Mama, y'all know her. She was like, how did you do this? this fast. Like, and then when she came and seen the apartment, she came on the day that we moved in, and then she came back like maybe 3 days later, 4 days later. She's like, why are you guys settled in already? Like, this is weird. Like, she's like, this is like, how are you doing this? And I was just like, yo, this is like, I had a real moment because I had already been through so much moving, and I had got through it, and I was just like, I know this is a part of my prize. You know, this is my gold at the end of the rainbow. Maybe that's not a good example, but because it has not been a rainbow. But this is my prize at the end. Okay? So yes. All right, y'all. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Oh, this is the point of me putting my number up, because I just put it up. If you guys want to book a session with me, if you don't know, I do like sometimes they last an hour, 2-hour sessions with people where I coach you, and we literally go through an alpha mental meditation. I relax your body and your brain. It's the same exact routine that I do for mommies to make their pain turn into pleasure during birth. So if you can kind of think about how can someone make their pain turn into pleasure, that means that you're really making a difference in your neurons, in your brain cycle. And so I do the same exact thing with my clients who need to heal and who need to let go of things and who want to learn how to manifest things quicker and take control of their minds and their thoughts. And I can go on and on. People who want to stop addictions. I had a client who was addicted to alcohol for years, and she did one session with me, and she's been clean for over a year. So it's not a game. You guys have seen me post these reviews, and it's just literally helping people tap in to source, and tap into God and into your intuition. Sorry, it's a mosquito. And tap into your intuition. These sessions really don't have much to do with me. I'm just there. I'm your facilitator. I'm your guide. And the things that come up, it's almost, it's very close to having a trip, like a shroom experience, DMT. We actually release that in our body. Sorry, y'all. So I really believe that that's what's happening when people are doing these sessions with me, and they are powerful sessions. If you've seen the reviews, people are crying, and there's breakthroughs, and it's so amazing. And I'm so grateful. So if you're interested in doing that, or if you just want to fine tune your life and get your vibrations on the right level, you can text 207-605-7551. I don't want to do like sites and links anymore. It's just more work for me. I'm a creator, so I don't want to have my time focused on maintaining a site. So for those of you that did have a link, this is the text number, my scheduling text number. Only text me if you want to book a session. And what else? Oh, if you guys want to support me, these are things I'm trying to do better. Okay. I had to make a mental note. If you guys want to support me now, you can cash at me at Woman Tree, money sign woman, like the womb and tree. You can also hit the super thanks button, and it shows myself, it shows YouTube that you are in support of me, that my videos should be in the suggestion box, that more people will be able to see this. And of course, it helps support me with the things that I am doing and what I need to provide for other people, right? Different technology and things like that. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I hope that you really felt this message. Until next time, thank you so much for rolling with a sister. Okay? Uh-oh. Hold on, because we got to get the music. We got to vibe out. guys. Share this video if you think someone would need it.